What's up, you amazing people? It is I, Nima, and I'm gonna be honest, I almost didn't do this video because I'm sitting on a ton of reviews to do, but I figured we gotta talk about some game sales. It's that time of the week, people are used to it, I'm used to it now, I already picked up games, so it'd be kind of a waste, right? With that being said, this video might be a little bit shorter, but we're still gonna make it fun because you know what, we're gonna go ahead and give a $10 gift card away, and all you have to do is sub, like, and comment down below. Anything really. Let me know what games you're playing, let me know... honestly, whatever. If you got big plans for the weekend, shout it out to the community. Whatever. Really, any comment will get you entered into the giveaway. So anyway, let's get to the games. And I want to start off with one that I haven't actually picked up yet, but I definitely will here soon. Bethesda's doing a big sale, and most of their games are on major discounts. So I'm actually going to grab Doom Eternal. I have heard that this game runs really well on the Switch. It's what some would call retro adjacent, where it's got a lot of the modern niceties with really good graphics, but also really feels like an old school boomer shooter, I guess. I don't know, is that what it's called, as boomer shooter? I'm honestly not sure, and in fact, somebody told me, like, that's kind of an offensive term. I didn't know that. I was like, well, I thought because boom and shoot, you know, grenades are boom, guns are shoot, you know, that kind of thing, but apparently no. That's more of a comment about the people who play the game, like their age, but you know what? Get your facts straight. Boomer is like from the 50s, not from the 80s. I digress. I don't want to get in this whole conversation, and I still doesn't make this a short video. But anyway, Doom Eternal is typically $39.99, and right now it's $9.99. It looks really fun. Like I said, I've heard it performs really well, and if you like that kind of fast-paced first-person shooting action, then it's a good game for you. I will say this too. Skyrim is also 50% off, so if you haven't somehow picked that up and you're interested in it, now would be a good time to grab it. You could probably beat it 4 or 5 more times before you actually hear about Skyrim 6 coming out. So that would be a good pickup as well, as this game you could literally put hundreds of hours into, and a lot of people have. So I ended up grabbing Warsaw because it's on a 90% discount. Typically it's $19.99, and right now it's $1.99. And this is a game I've been interested in because it seems like it would be right up my alley. It's got a lot of history in it. It's turn-based. It almost kind of reminds you of the combat in Darkest Dungeon, if you've ever played that. It's a turn-based, but it's almost, I don't know, it has a different feel to it, I'll put it that way. And so I was pretty excited to check it out, and honestly, if you do like it, I get it, but for me, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I mean, the story alone is really cool. You play as a, like, Polish underground unit who's working against the Nazis. It is sort of in the times when the Nazi regime is falling apart, but there's still a threat to your ragtag crew, so you do have to work within, you know, certain guidelines, and you have to be respectful of their power, so to speak. But yet at the same time you're running these missions, and it just seems like a really cool idea, but I didn't enjoy it that much, to be honest. I tried to get into it. It felt like the combat was just way too long. And trust me, I'm working on a review for Octopath Traveler 2. I'm okay with long combat as long as it's interesting. It just didn't hold my interest. It just felt that, like, simple battles would take way too long because your enemy had a ton of HP and your characters had bad accuracy, and things just kind of dragged on longer than it needed to, it felt like to me. So I didn't really enjoy this game as much as I thought I would, but for a lot of people, I think they are going to like it. There is a lot here, and it's a really cool game. I just don't think it was right for me, but, you know, right now it's $1.99, so why not? Just, you know, see if you like it. It's not a big loss, honestly. Like, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And while we're talking about games that are the same price as coffee, Moonlighter is also on sale. It is $3.74. This is a game that I don't know what else I can say about it. I've talked about it multiple times. It is such a fun game. It's a game I still go back to and play from time to time now. It's one of those games that I never really plan on beating anytime soon. I just kind of play at my leisure, go into a dungeon, collect some treasure, bring it back to my shop, sell it, slowly build up my community and my shop and all of that. And that's essentially what Moonlighter is. It's a dungeon crawler with a lot of, like, sim aspects to it. It's a really fun game though, and it's incredibly cheap and well worth it. It's great for those who like aspects of, like, the cozy gaming, but yet also really like dungeon crawling and a lot of combat. It's got both. And if you're a person who really likes horror games, I recently picked up Viviette, I believe is the title of it. It's typically $9.99, so it's not really that expensive, but it's 50% off at $4.99. And this game is really creepy, yet really cool and fun. It's a puzzler with a lot of exploration, and yes, there is a spirit that chases you. You know, you basically are exploring this old, dilapidated mansion, and as you start to uncover more documents and find out more secrets, you find about some really macabre aspects of what happened in this mansion. At the same time, you're being haunted by this spirit who will definitely cause you harm. And there's different tactics that you can use, like turning off your light and trying to stay away from them. But at the same time, the longer you kind of wait around for them to go away, the more they're going to find you. So you're constantly back and forth between how much do you push the envelope and get further in the game as per how much you try to avoid them. And for me, the lack of like a gun or something like that really just makes this game even more creepy and scary. But at the same time, this also has just a really great pixel art. Like, it's really beautiful in that aspect. Like, I totally dig what they're doing with the visuals on this game. So going from a game where you don't really have a gun to a game where your most important weapon is a gun, I give you House of the Dead Remake. Now, when this game came out, it had a lot of issues, and there was still some issues with it that people don't really love, but I think it's the fact that they don't love it for the price. $24.99 seems a little bit pricey for a game that comes off less as a remake and more of just like a port. Yes, there are definitely aspects of this game you can tell is remade, but it just doesn't feel like there was as much care put into it as it could be. But a lot of those issues can be overlooked when the game is now $8.49. Yeah, with the 66% discount, I'm willing to overlook a lot of the problems that it did have because I still have good memories of the game. I remember playing it on the Dreamcast, I believe, and it was a ton of fun. So yeah, they have missed opportunities in this game. There's definitely some issues, but honestly at $8.49, it's definitely worth it at that price. A game that I keep looking at and just waiting to purchase is a game called Potion Permanent. Now, this is an interesting game where you play as a healer who enters this village where they don't really believe the scientific methods that you use, and they prefer the old ways, even though the old ways aren't working, and your ways are. It's kind of a constant driving point of this game, that you're in this almost collision with certain members of this village while you're trying to heal people. And I don't know, honestly, I haven't played it yet, but it looks really cool. Everyone I know who's played it really likes it. I ended up buying it because of the sale it's on. I don't know if it's the cheapest it's ever been, but it's the cheapest I've ever seen it, as it is $13.99, which isn't a huge discount. It's typically $19.99, but this is also one of those games I've never seen it drop more than 20%, so maybe it's a good time to pick it up. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. Another game that I'm looking forward to playing is Fuga, Melodies of Steel. This game is an RPG where you place children, each with their own unique characteristics and skills, at a different gun turret in a tank to fight against the enemy. Living inside the tank, the children show emotion and gain affinity amongst each other, manage these both, and change the outcome of their journey. Now, this is another game where I pretty much had to just read off the bio because I haven't played it yet, but I did purchase it and I'm really excited to check it out. Everyone I know really enjoys it and says they were expecting something a little bit more different than what it gave, and they're really happy with how this game turned out. Now, right now, it is $23.99. It's 40% off from its typical price of $39.99, and there is a sequel for this game, so if you're looking to jump into this series, this would probably be a good place to start. So I have a question. Do you like arcade racers? Of course you do. Everyone likes arcade racers. But it's the price, right? Well, I've got good news for you. There's a game called Rise, Race the Future. And this is actually a legitimately good-looking game that performs really well for the Switch. And it's incredibly fun. I've been playing the heck out of it recently. It's an arcade racer, as I said before, where it's pretty limited. Like, there's no big storyline or anything like that. But you do have a championship mode where you go into several different races and, well, try to win a championship. The nice thing, though, is that typically this game is $16.49, and right now it is $6.59, and it might be the best arcade racer that I've played on the Switch. Honestly, like, as far as graphics, control, all of that, it's very accessible, I'll put it that way. Like, it's one of those games you don't really have to worry about when to break as much as you probably should in others, but it's also this cool component where half the time you're racing on water. And it's interesting because you can actually feel the lack of friction, yet it still has a lot of ease of mobility. It's a really fun game. I really recommend it if you're into racing games at all. This is a good pickup. Alright, so that takes us to the last game, and for me, this is sort of the gem of the week. This is one of the best sales that I've seen, and is a game called Ancestors Legacy. Now, this game has you taking control of one of 4 nations in multiple campaigns to claim dominancy in Europe. You will be able to play one of of 4 nations ranging from Vikings, Anglo-Saxon, German, and Slav. You will be tasked with more than just conquering, raiding, and pillaging enemy camps, villages, and towns. Only by utilizing the full range of available tactical options, taking strategic advantage of the environment, and managing your temporary bases and settlements will you emerge victorious. So yeah, this is one of those games where you control a giant army and multiple different squads, and you also have to manage resources as well as tactics. And yeah, it's typically one of those games that's honestly easier controlled on a computer, but you know, I'm glad they have it on the Switch because there's not a lot of games like this on the Switch, and this one plays really well. The controls take a little bit to get used to, and you will have to resort to your references early on just to get all of the controls down pat, but once you do and you got it memorized, this game plays really smooth and it's just a ton of fun, especially if you're into like tactical strategy RPGs. And as I said before, there's not a lot of them, but what really makes this game stand out even more than that is the fact that it is $7.99. It is down from $39.99. And I think this is a great introductory price, especially if you're somebody who isn't sure about these kind of games. It's not a huge loss, but you are getting quality. I can tell you that. Like, I'm only about 5 hours into the game so far, and I'm really enjoying it. For me, it was just the idea of the game that looked really cool, but I'm really glad that I ended up picking it up because it is very, very fun. And you get a lot here, as I said. It performs really well. All of the options that are available, you don't really expect, and yet it gives you a wide berth, if you will. Like, it'll give you time to kind of get used to the game. It doesn't just throw you right into it. So it's very accessible and at an accessible price. For me, it's kind of the game that I would say above all I would pick up, but that's only if you have some interest in it. Like, if you have no interest in it at all, then obviously, yeah, you're gonna do better by picking up like Lunestis, which is always $4.99, and it is a 3D platformer that's really fun. Did I just low-key also drop another game that people should check out? I did. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. My throat is giving me tons of problems. I don't know what's going on. I keep losing my voice during this video. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back probably this weekend with another review. Take care, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.